Well, hi, everybody, and welcome into the Cougar Sports Network. Sorry we were a little delayed there. Didn't realize we didn't have the cameras all hooked up correctly, but now we're good to go, and we are ready for some softball here on this Tuesday afternoon. College of the Canyons and the Cypress Chargers here from Whitten Field in Santa Clarita. I'm Matt Robinson. Glad to have you along with us, as always, here on the Cougar Sports Network. Cypress at 4-1 this season comes in having won their last time out, or actually, excuse me, comes in on a one-game losing streak, having lost against. Scratch it. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was correct. They've lost. They won their last time out. They won actually their last three. 6-4 or 6-4 win over Citrus in their last game on February 11th. They beat Canyons early on in the season 5-1 at home. So the Cougars looking for a little bit of revenge, coming in off a loss themselves for John Wisma's squad. Lost 6-4 against Saddleback in the second half of a doubleheader against the Saddleback Bobcats in that one. Won the first game 10-3, and they will try and pick up a win and split this series with Cypress here today, and they will do so with the hope that they'll get a nice pitching performance out of Akana Gonzalez today, as she is the scheduled starter for College of the Canyons. Take a look at the numbers for both sides here today. As College of the Canyons averaging a little over 8.5 runs per game, 5.6 runs per game for Cypress. The Cougars do have one home run on the season. They hit .387 this year as a unit. That's sixth best in the state. Their ERA is .269, and their opponent's batting average against is .212. On the other side for Cypress, they hit .325, which is nothing to sniff at as well. 33rd best in the state. The ERA at .219 for Cypress. We'll talk about that more with their starting pitcher here today. And the opponent batting average at .237. For College of the Canyons, you look to a few different bodies to get things going. These two, especially as of late, have been very good. Janice Jimenez batting .500 on the season. She's got 11 RBIs to lead the team. On top of that, those 11 RBIs for Jimenez this season are actually one of the top 50 numbers in the state this year for Jimenez. When you look at the RBIs this season, 18th in the state of California with those 11 RBIs. Mia Reese, the 9-hitter, she's been having a pretty hot streak as of late. Snapped a 5-game hitting streak against Saddleback, but she's 35th in runs scored with 10, and she's got 8 stolen bases on the season, batting .471. Nothing to sniff at on her side. Unfortunately, they will have to deal with a tough test in terms of the pitcher for Cypress, Haley Tucker. 3-0 on the season, a 1.54 ERA, and 16 strikeouts in her starts. She's had 4 appearances on the year. She is certainly tough to deal with, is Tucker, as she can certainly fire the ball in and make it difficult on opposing hitters as games continue on throughout. And she's finished 3 games with a 3-0 record with 3 complete games this season. So been very tough to deal with Tucker this year. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Cypress Chargers here today. Take a look at the batting order. As Anea Kyle will lead things off, then Michaela Modis, then Carly Parmenter, Madeline Winia, Michaela Galvez, Jada Maldonado, Tina Payne in the 7th spot, Giselle Del Castillo in the 8th spot, and Jazzy Lopez will bat 9th for Cypress. They will deal with Akana Gonzalez getting the start today for College of the Canyons. 3-0 so far this year with a 2.33 ERA. In her 4 starts, she's gone the full amount twice. She's pitched 21 innings, given up just 3 walks, struck out 11, and 7 earned runs, and a whip of 1.0 this season. She will be looked at to try and duel here against Tucker today. It's good to have that extra in terms of the ability to pitch for College of the Canyons. We'll set the Cougars defense while we have a moment as well. Still waiting for the teams to get out on the field. Grace Diaz from left to right in the outfield. Grace Diaz, Mia Reese, and Yahala Gonzalez. On the infield up the middle, Brooke Petretti and Skylar Vanoli. Then Alexia Mejia and Janice Jimenez on the corners. Leilani Lopez is behind the dish, working as the catcher today for College of the Canyons. Nearly ready to go COC and Cypress here on a Tuesday. One of just a few games on the schedule this week for us here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll have a basketball doubleheader tomorrow, men's and women's in their sophomore night games against Santa Monica. And then next week we pick back up with baseball and softball on the 25th and the 28th. And then we're off until March 6th when baseball comes back home to take on Glendale in their home opener. Part of that, or excuse me, in their conference home opener. Part of that due to the fact that this year is a Hall of Fame year, so we've got a lot of things coming up this season for us here in College of the Canyons. Hall of Fame getting ready, a nice class this year. Legendary women's basketball coach Greg Herrick, part of the class. Corey Honeycutt from track and field, Carlton Spencer from men's basketball, the 2010 men's soccer team, and then a familiar face for College of the Canyons softball in Ruby Herrera. Also going to be part of the class this year. Herrera was a two-time All-American in her time here at College of the Canyons, and so we're excited to see her go in. As we are getting ready to get underway, College of the Canyons and Cypress here from Whitten Field. Little later start than expected. Cypress had some bus trouble on the way up here, so that's what's caused the delay in the start of the ball game, but should be ready to go here in just a few moments. Just waiting on the umpires to get themselves out into position. As we'll start with Nanea Kyle. Snapped a 4-game hitting streak against Cypress. Batting .400 on the year, 6 for 15 with 8 runs scored. As the first pitch on the outer half for a called strike, and we are underway. Kyle, a difficult out to deal with most of the time, as we said, hitting .400. Out of that leadoff spot, really a good job setting the table as she lifts this one foul down the right field line, and she'll come back behind in the count, 0-2. Kyle has done, as we said, a good job for Brad Pickler, his 38th year as the head coach. Likes that leadoff spot going to work as Kyle takes that one up, and the count is sitting at 1-2. Just underway here from Whitten Field. Thank you for joining us. As Gonzalez delivery hit on the ground, one hop to second base. Scooped up by Vanoli and fires to first, one away. Canyons will need a lot of that from Akani Gonzalez today. She will have to deal and try and match Haley Tucker, who so far this season has shown as a pretty solid ace. As here's the shortstop for Cypress, Michaela Modis. I couldn't see my screen, had to switch my glasses, so give me a second here and we'll get you some numbers for Modis. Batting .357 on the year, 5 for 14 with 3 doubles. That's 42nd most in the state here early on in the season. She takes that pitch inside. Two balls and 1 strike to count. Gonzalez's delivery fouled off the foot of Modis, so we'll come back to the plate at 2-2. So 2-2 delivery on the way. Modis does not chase. Good pitch from Gonzalez that time, trying to get the two-hitter to chase here. Could not. And we'll go to a full count. This one ripped on the ground, foul up the third base line. Gonzalez back to work again. This one hit on the ground up the middle for a base hit for Modis. So a one-out base runner here for Cypress, as Modis has her 6th hit of the season on a solid ground ball back up the box. Brings us a 3-hitter. And Carly Parmenter. Parmenter batting .500 on the year. Has 6 hits, a triple, 3 walks. Hasn't struck out yet this season. Just 5 RBIs. Didn't have a hit in her first game against College of the Canyons this season. Went 0 for 1, did have a couple of runs scored and a couple of RBIs. Just did not have a hit as she stands in here. Gonzalez's 1-0 pitch misses on the outer half. Two balls and no strikes here to Parmenter with a runner at Modis at first base. Inside fastball on the edge. Sits the count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1 here to Parmenter. Gonzalez back into her delivery. That one in for a strike. Throw down to second base, not going to be in time. So a stolen base for Cypress as Modis runs, and that's been a problem for Canyons this year. That's the 13th stolen base allowed. They have yet to throw a base runner out this season. So opposing teams 100% against them this year. Gonzalez now trying to settle in and get Parmenter here. A 3-2 delivery. Laced foul up the third base side, and we'll come back and do it again. So the stolen base is kind of hurting Canyons, as we've seen kind of been a theme so far this year. There's now a runner in scoring position. 3-2 pitch misses away. It's a 1-out walk. So the 2 and 3 hitters both reach with a single and a walk. And now Madeline Wynea coming to the plate. Wynea just 2 for 12 this year out of the cleanup spot. It's 2 for 3 though against Mount Sac early on in the year, but has struggled as of late. Takes a called strike. Wynea kind of protected here in this lineup. As you look, it's Kyle Modis and Parmenter all hit up over 400. Wynea down at 167, and then Galaviz protecting her from behind 467, so it kind of gives her the ability to just kind of attack and swing away, try and work her way out of it here. She fouls that one away and is behind in the count, 0-2. It's an offense for Cypress that through 5 games of the season, trending very well, hitting .325 as a unit. That one misses up as Gonzalez tries to get her to chase. The runs maybe not as high as they'd like. 28 runs in 5 games. Still pretty good number. 38 hits in 5 games. It's low in the state considering there's a lot of teams that have played a bunch more games on the schedule already. This one hit on the ground towards third and foul, and we'll do it again. So once again, Wynea will step in. Gonzalez trying for a punch out here. Could use one. So that one fouled away. Whitten just gets a piece of it. Checked her swing. Punch out for Akane Gonzalez would be helpful, would get her 2 away. Ground ball would do the same job as long as the infield able to knock it down and pick up and out somewhere. Outs at every bag right now as we wait on the 1-2 pitch. Delivery lifted up straight back over our heads and out of play. This one lifted to left field and down the line foul, so we'll come back and reset in a little bit of a battle here between Gonzalez and Whitten. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. That one is placed up the first base line. It hit the heel of the bat, they say. And Whitten is retired on what essentially works out as a sacrifice bunt. So it was off the knob of the bat. Everybody kind of stood still. Finally, Akane Gonzalez goes and picks it up and fires to first. So 2 away here, 2 runners in scoring position for Michaela Galvez. Galvez on a 3-game hitting streak, 6 for 9 in her last 3, with a couple of RBIs and 4 runs scored, batting .467 on the season. 7 hits and 15 at-bats with a double as she lifts this one in the air towards right field. Playable. Yahali Gonzalez will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. So a single and a walk, but nothing else as Akane Gonzalez able to work out of the trouble. Cypress strands 2. We go to the home half of the first inning. Cypress, no runs on 1 hit, no errors and 2 left on. College of the Canyons coming up. We'll take a look at the batting order for COC here today. Yahali Gonzalez will lead things off for College of the Canyons, followed by Skylar Vanoli and then Brooke Petretti in the 3 spot. Janice Jimenez batting 4th. Krista Vierik in the 5 spot. Then Grace Diaz batting 6th. Akane Gonzalez will hit in the 7 spot. Milani Lopez will bat 8th. And Mia Reese will bat 9th, as the flex is Alexia Mejia. As they will face Carly Tucker, or Haley Tucker, excuse me. Tucker this season 3-0, 3 complete games in all 3 of her starts. She's made 4 appearances this year, an ERA of 1.54. 22 in a 3rd innings pitch. She's walked just 5, struck out 16, given up only 5 earned runs and a whip of .0900. She will be tough to deal with in the circle today. Defensively for Cypress, Jazzy Lopez, Nanea Kyle, and Carly Parmenter from left to right in the outfield. Michaela Motis and Jada Maldonado up the middle. Michaela Galvez and Madeline Whitten on the corners, and Tina Payne behind the dish. So that's your defensive set here for this single game between these 2 teams on this Tuesday. The Canyons will start things with Yahali Gonzalez. Gonzalez on a 3-game hitting streak of her own, 4 of 11 with a couple of walks, a couple of stolen bases and 3 runs scored, batting .300 on the year, 6 hits and 20 at-bats with a triple, 7 walks this season. That's 8th in the state of California. She has done a phenomenal job at finding a way to reach base. She's scored 9 runs so far this year. Does not top the team as Mia Reese does that, but still phenomenal job in terms of getting on and giving Canyons a chance to try and go to work offensively. Not sure what the delay is here, because unfortunately I sit just below the cameras, so what you see is what I see. You can see a little bit of home plate, but that's about it. As we go to work, Holly Gonzalez up at the plate, the right-handed or the left-handed hitting right fielder. To start things off, Haley Tucker's first pitch misses up, and we are underway here in the home half of the first inning. Gonzalez trying to be a good leadoff hitter, get their team an opportunity to see Tucker. Tucker did pitch against College of the Canyons in that game on February 6th, which was Canyons' first game of the season. Went 7, gave up 6 hits and a run, and struck out 3 in the ball game. One of her 3 complete game wins so far this season. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here as Holly Gonzalez waits. That one misses down, and Gonzalez way ahead here at 3-1. Go a long way to get a leadoff runner here, and Canyons will do just that as Holly Gonzalez, for the 8th time this season, has reached base on a free pass. That'll bring Skylar Vanoli to the plate. Vanoli this season has a hit in every game, 11 for 23. So far this season with 9 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. 5 extra base hits for her on the year. She's got 3 doubles and 2 triples. Slugging .783 this year, which is 41st ranked in the state of California right now. Anytime you're in the top 50 in a singular category as a player, that's a pretty good year so far. There's close to 100 teams in the 3C2A. When all's said and done, you got to figure about 15 ladies a team, somewhere in that range, as Vanoli shows bunt and fouls it back. Maybe on average about 15, maybe about 12, but, you know, we'll call it 15. Still pretty good anytime you're in the top 50 in any singular category. She's got 3 of them this year at this point. 3 triples is 42nd, 2 doubles is 6th. So one of those in the top 10 as she takes that pitch down. Keep an eye on Holly Gonzalez. She's 3 for 4 on the bases this year. And John Wismath likes to run. That is something that this Canyons team does a lot of. When you look this season, the Cougars, 27 stolen bases for. That's 5th most in the state to this point in the season. Canyons at 5-2 through 7 games. It's a pretty high number, all things considered. Is this one lifted in the air, playable out in left field. The catch is made by Lopez. And Vanoli retired on a lazy fly ball to left. One down for Brooke Petretti. The sophomore out of West Ranch High School having a phenomenal start to her year as well. Batting .400 on the season, 8 for 20 with 10 RBIs. That's 27th most in the state. Has a home run, 2 doubles, and a triple on the season as well. She's only struck out 1 time in those 20 at-bats as she takes a called strike, slugging .750. Talked about Vanoli having a heck of a season. Petretti the same thing, 46th in the state in slugging percentage. That one down, good job by Payne to keep it in front. Petretti, 10 RBIs, is 27th most in the state. Her 1 home run is good enough for 39th right now. And she's another lady on this team that's got 7 straight games with a hit to start the year. She fouls that one away and is behind in the count. In those 7 games, though, she's only had 1 multi-hit game, and that was the last game Canyons played against Saddleback in game number 2 on the weekend. She went 2 for 4 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. But just chipping away hits. And she's going to be set down on strikes looking. So 2 down. First strikeout of the day for Haley Tucker. That brings us Janice Jimenez. We talked about Jimenez in the pregame, batting .500 on the season with 11 runs batted in. That's 18th most in the 3C2A this year. So that pitch misses away. 12 hits and 24 at-bats with 6 extra base hits, 4 of those doubles, 2 triples. Right now riding a 6-game hitting streak. So 3 games with 3 hits this season. She takes a called strike, and the count is even at 1-1. Jimenez off that right side has been so good out of this 4 spot. Her 12 hits are 46th most in the 3C2A. That one misses down. Now John Wismath, you hear him that time, just hollered, "I want you to steal," to Yahali Gonzalez. Apparently something going wrong with the signs. Wiz just does not care at this point, just says go. She's going to take off. Jimenez is going to lift this one in the air towards deep center field. It's going to get over the head of Kyle. Gonzalez rounding and heading for home. She will score. Jimenez in with a stand-up RBI triple, and Canyons is on the board here in their half of the first with a 1-0 lead. So Jimenez laces one off Tucker to center. Canyons gets a run. And it came right after John Wismath hollered that he wanted Yahali Gonzalez to steal. Did not matter. As Canyons gets on the board, Krista Vierik will come to the plate. 4 for 11 so far this season. Batting .364. That one in for a strike. Vierik down on strikes. 2 strikeouts looking here in this first inning for Canyons, but they get a run on an RBI triple with 2 away from Janice Jimenez. 1 full in the books, 1-0 College of the Canyons. The College of the Canyons Athletic Department is proud to announce the Hall of Fame class for 2025. This year's inductees include legendary women's basketball coach Greg Herron, 2-time softball All-American Ruby Herrera, 2010 state track and field champion Corey Honeycutt, 2-time conference men's basketball player of the year Carlton Spencer, and the 2010 state runner-up men's soccer team. Be there for all the excitement Wednesday, March 19th at 4:30 p.m. at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. For more information, please visit cocathletics.com or call 661-362-3742. Go Cougs!
Whether we're on the move,
Go back into Whitten Field as we get ready for the second inning. College of the Canyons with a 1-0 lead off an RBI triple from Janice Jimenez. So Maldonado, Payne, and Del Castillo, the scheduled hitters. As they face Akana Gonzalez, sprung out to a 1-0 lead. That one in for a strike to Maldonado. Good pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here to Maldonado. Jada hitting .333 on the season. She's down on strikes. First strike out of the ball game for Akana Gonzalez. So now Tina Payne will step in. Payne, .333 on the season as well, 4 for 12. Takes that for a strike. So Gonzalez pitching freely here with a 1-0 lead. Payne 0 for 2 against College of the Canyons with a walk. Back on the 6th. Swings and misses and is behind in the count. Another solid pitch from Akana Gonzalez. This one hit on the ground towards short. Petretti scoops and fires. 1 away, or 2 away, excuse me. So Payne retired on a ground out. And 2 down for the 8-hitter Giselle Del Castillo. Getting her first opportunity of the season at the plate. Takes that pitch. So Del Castillo, the freshman out of Centennial High School in Corona, getting her first opportunity, facing freshman Akana Gonzalez, who so far has allowed 2 runners. Back in the first inning on a single and a walk, but right now has retired the first 2 she's faced, retired 4 in a row. This ball lifted in the air, left center field, playable, and the catch is made by Mia Reese out in center. A 1-2-3 second inning for Akana Gonzalez. Canyons with a 1-0 lead as we go to the home half of the second inning. When we come back.
Whether we're on the move or we're stuck in one place. It's with us, comforting, healing, and transforming lives. It's the power of you. With 4 world-class hospitals and over 170 clinics across Southern California, together, we're building a healthier community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your family. It begins with you. UCLA Health.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's gonna go, so.
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Grace Diaz, Akana Gonzalez, and Leilani Lopez, the scheduled hitters for College of the Canyons here in the second inning. As they try and build on a 1-0 lead after they got a run of the first off of Haley Tucker off an RBI triple from Janice Jimenez. Grace Diaz, 316 on the season. Takes a call and strike. Diaz, 6 for 19. No extra base hits yet this year. Did have a hit against Cypress on the 6th. Tucker's pitch in there for a strike. Tucker has seemed a little off for her so far today. At first inning, as we said, walked Jahali Gonzalez. Looked good against Manoli and Petretti, but then kind of lost it a little bit against Jimenez and eventually gave into the way of a triple. This one hit on the ground up the third base line and foul, so Grace Diaz will come back. So Tucker trying to settle in, keep it a 1-run ball game. And match Akana Gonzalez, who set down the side in order in the top half of the second. She sets down Grace Diaz on strikes. Third strikeout of the ball game. In terms of those numbers, though, Tucker looking good. Already 3 strikeouts in the game. And now she'll face her cohort, Akana Gonzalez, who will come to the plate. Gonzalez got her first opportunity at the plate in game 1 against Saddleback. So far this season, 3 for 6 in just 2 games. Fouls this one away.
Oh, nice catch, nice catch.
Albert Loaiza makes the play over here behind us, our athletic counselor for College of the Canyons. Does so much to try and keep all these players eligible and on the path to graduation, which is the most important thing when all's said and done. Gonzalez down on strikes after she fouls off 2 pitches, back-to-back strikeouts, 2 away here. Just as we said, Tucker kind of struggled through the first. She looks solid here so far in the second. 4 strikeouts in the ball game for Tucker, as now she'll face Leilani Lopez. Lopez, 3 for 3. All 3 of her hits in game 2 against Saddleback. It's her first chance at the plate this year. Leilani takes a ball. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Tuesday on the Cougar Sports Network. We appreciate you following along. Glad you can join. Hopefully you can join tomorrow for sophomore night basketball. Men and women finishing out their 2024-25 slates. One more game after tomorrow against Bakersfield on the road, and then that'll be it for basketball season, and we will officially be on to full spring. Nothing left from the winter. As everybody else in motion right now, tennis, swim and dive, track and field, men's golf, of course, softball and baseball. As Lopez takes a strike. Leanne out on strikes. And Tucker strikes out the side pretty handily here. No problems with 6, 7, and 8. 4 straight strikeouts for Tucker. 2 full in the books. Canyons with a 1-0 lead.
Make hosting your next event easy with the Dr. Diane G. Van Hook University Center. With over 30 meeting spaces, wireless video teleconferencing capabilities, food service, and technical support available, the University Center has everything you need to make your next event shine. Conveniently located near the 5 and 14 freeways in Santa Clarita, the University Center offers easy access to local airports and many attractions, making it the ideal meeting place for everyone. To learn more about our rental options or to book now, visit canyons.edu/University Center.
College of the Canyons is always ready when it comes to your athletic future. With 17 intercollegiate sports programs to cheer for, opportunities for student athletes to learn, train, and compete, and a championship mindset that has produced state and national titles, College of the Canyons and the Cougars athletics programs offer a great college experience. Take control of your athletic future at College of the Canyons. Visit canyons.edu/schedule and cocathletics.com now.
Top half of the third we go. 1-0 in favor of College of the Canyons. Jazzy Lopez, then Nenea Kyle and Michaela Modis, the scheduled hitters for Cypress. So we will start things off with a 9-hitter in Jazzy Lopez. Lopez 0 for 8 so far this season with a couple of walks, has been hit twice. It has 1 sacrifice hit. Does have an RBI as well and a run scored. Their 6th start of the season. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Top half of the third is underway. It's turned out to be a beautiful day here in Santa Clarita. It was a little breezy pregame, but the wind has kind of fallen away. So this one bunted up the third base line. Nice play from Alexia Mejia, charging down to retire Jazzy Lopez. 5-3 for the first out here of the third inning. And Alexia Mejia doing her job defensively, and that's why she's in there to play defense. And she's so good on the defensive side. 7 assists, 2 putouts. No errors so far in the season. We saw that a lot with Alexia Mejia last year. Not shocked to see it again this year. As here's Nenea Kyle, who grounded to second in her first at-bat. We'll say this about Alexia Mejia, too. One of the, as is most of the Canyons team, one of the nicer young ladies here. Mejia, before every game, is she'll not be able to get to this one. It's a bunt single this time for Nenea Kyle. I was going to say about Mejia, before our first game here, our first webcast here last week at the doubleheader against Santa Barbara, said hello. After the game was over, came by and said thank you. Said hello again today when she saw me, so I very much appreciate that. As did many of the other young ladies walking by and saying hi. We appreciate that, and that's why we come out to do this for them. Put a little show on for those at home. Runner in motion. Throw down to second base, not going to be in time. So it's a stolen base for Nenea Kyle. Michaela Modis protected her, so it's a strike. Not much that Leanne Lopez could do that time. Very good jump. And Kyle runs very well. So now we go to Modis, who's got a strike on her. For Kyle, her 6th stolen base in 7 attempts. And it's actually 2 balls and I think it's a 2 balls and 1 strike count here to Modis. Now Gonzalez well behind. Fortunately, I can't see the scoreboard, so it might actually be 2-1 now. Now it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Modis this season, 4 walks. So he said 5 for 14 before the game, so now 6 for 15. And now Leanne Lopez will go out to talk to Connie Gonzalez, try and settle her in here. Lopez wasn't the starter at the beginning of the year, but has flexed in for the last couple of games. It was Brooke Petretti scheduled to be the starting catcher, but she actually hurt herself in that Santa Barbara game. Still nursing a little bit, I think, of a shoulder injury. So this one lifted in the air down the left field side. Play is made by Grace Diaz for the 2nd out of the inning. So Modis allowed out, nothing else, as Kyle can't move ahead. 2 away here in the 3rd. And I should actually place the runner at second base on our scoreboard. I did now, so. We go to the 3-hitter in Parmenter, who walked in her first at-bat. Her first plate appearance, I should say. Parmenter, last game out, had a hit in 3 at-bats in the Cypress 6-4 win over Citrus. Her best game of the year, she was 3 for 3 with a triple against Compton. Had a couple of RBIs and a run scored. Way ahead here against Gonzalez. Good pitch from Akana Gonzalez. Gets herself back into this count. I think the scoreboard says a ball and a strike. I'm trying to look through people. That doesn't always work very well. That one misses inside. Gonzalez trying to get that pitch. That's such a tough pitch in softball. Up under the hands of a hitter, especially because of the angle where the ball comes from down below the hip. And it can just kind of rise in right there. As you see it right there, that was a much better executed version, and all Parmenter could do was turn and foul it a mile away out of play. Almost puts it into the third base dugout, how much she had to turn on it just to fight it off. Especially with Gonzalez pitching off that third base side of the rubber, she can really work that to right-handed hitters. There it is again. This one popped up on the infield. Alexia Mejia makes the play. So a 1-out single and nothing else. 2.5 in the books. Akana Gonzalez hasn't given up anything. Canyons with a 1-0 lead as we go to the home half of the 3rd inning here from Whitten Field. Mia Reese in the top of the order, and Yahala Gonzalez and Skylar Vanoli for Canyons here. Reese, we talked about in the pregame. 8 for 17 this season for Canyons. 10 runs scored. That's 35th in the state of California. She swings to the first pitch, grounds it sharply to third, and she's going to be on as Galaviz could not handle cleanly. She knocked it down, actually picked it up, lost it on the transfer. So Reese is aboard, and Canyons with a leadoff runner working here. I'll scored an error, but I'm not sure what the official scorer will give it. It's Jasmine Hall, our official scorer today. And now Yahala Gonzalez, who walked and came around to score. On the triple by Jimenez. Keep an eye on Reese over at first. 8 stolen bases on the season. She's perfect so far. They have yet to throw her out. As a defense. Tough to deal with Tucker, though, who brings plenty behind her fastball. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count here to Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes strike 3. Reese has another stolen base. Or scratch that, take strike 2. So it's a 2-2 count. Again, can't read the scoreboard from where we're at, so. Now Gonzalez will fight this one off foul. Was scored an error on the third baseman, Galaviz. So now Gonzalez a chance to try and drive home Reese, who stands out at second base. Swings and lifts this one in the air, down the line and left. Play is made by the left fielder, Lopez. Reese tagging and sliding in safely at third base. So Gonzalez, a productive out here, flies out to left field for the first out of the inning, but Mia Reese showing off that speed, tagging and moving up 60 feet, even on the short field, challenging Lopez out and left. And now Skylar Vanoli flew out to left field, and her first at-bat will come to the plate. So Reese challenging Jazzy Lopez that time. And now the righty Vanoli can try and add to the lead. The infield will come in to cut down the run at the plate here for Cypress. Vanoli fouls the first pitch straight back over the screen. You can see the infield here all shaded well short to try and cut down this run. Almost in bunt protection situation here in terms of the corners and the infielders even with the bag. So a sharp single for Vanoli is all she really needs here, or a sharply hit ball. With Reese standing at third. Got Petrani waiting in the on-deck circle, and then Jimenez, who did the damage early on. In the first, waiting behind that. This ball lifted in the air, shallow right field. A basket catch is made by Parmenter. Reese into the plate is not in time as she is tagged out on a plate block by Payne on a nice throw from the right fielder Parmenter. And Reese is uncomfortable after the slide. We'll hope she's okay. And John Wismath unhappy. I think more of the concern is Mia Reese okay. So it'll be the third out of the inning. Reese challenging. It was close on the play, just could not get around the catcher Payne, who was blocking home plate well enough, I guess. And we'll hope Mia Reese is all right. Sitting up, so that's a good sign. The inning is over, so Canyons with a runner at third base and one away run into a double play on a good play by Parmenter charging. And we'll go to the fourth. A 1-0 ball game. Step aside for now. We'll get you an update on Mia Reese as soon as we can. So we come back in here in the fourth inning. Still 1-0 Canyons. Mia Reese back out there in center field. Good to see. After a rough play at the plate on what I'm sure John Wismath will go back and look at after the game and say the catcher Payne was blocking the plate but did not get the call. So Connie Gonzalez comes back out in the fourth. She'll face Juanilla, Galvez, and Maldonado here. Juanilla, 0 for 1. Chopped back to the pitcher in her first at-bat. Lifts this one in the air towards right field. Shading nicely in was Yahali Gonzalez. One away. Nine of the last 10 that Akana Gonzalez has faced, she is retired. She faces Galvez here, who's 0 for 1. Galvez made the error to start the inning in the home half of the third. Got bailed out by the defense. Galvez on a 3-game hitting streak. Was 1 for 3 against Canyons, 2 for 2 against Compton. Had a big game against Citrus, 3 for 4 with a couple of runs scored. Trying to recapture that. Lifts this one in the air towards deep left field, but going back is Grace Diaz. She'll make the catch. It's not quite deep enough. 2 away. So 2 quick outs here for Yahali Gonzalez in this fourth inning. Working quickly with a 1-0 lead. 10 of the last 11 retired, as Maldonado will come to the plate. Jada working off a strikeout in her first at-bat, takes a called strike. Maldonado was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk against Canyons on the 6th. Was 1 for 3 against Citrus the other day. Takes a pitch inside, makes it 1-1. Good pitch that time from Gonzalez. Gets Maldonado to chase. It's not a high punch-out game so far. Maldonado's been her only strikeout of the ball game, but has been efficient. Held this 1-0 lead nicely so far through 4. Just the second time through the lineup. That is a good changeup on the outside, just missed. Makes it 2-2. Talking about the weather a little bit earlier, how nice it is out today. We weren't expecting it to get up much over 70 degrees down here in Santa Clarita today, and pretty much right at 71 degrees right now. Feels a little bit warmer at about 75, but sunny, not much wind to speak of. Just a gorgeous day for some softballs. This one chopped up the first base line, foul. And so Maldonado in a battle here with Akane Gonzalez. Much nicer than what we had last week. Had Thursday's game rained out against Fullerton. And when I say rained out, you would have had to have a boat and a paddle to try and play softball out here. The field looked like a lake more than a softball field. 3-2 pitch here. Maldonado just misses inside. So Gonzalez walks Maldonado. So she had her with 2 strikes instead of 2 out walk. And now Tina Payne will come to the plate. Yeah, the rain was so bad. We actually, Jesse Munoz and myself, the sports information director, myself, actually trekked our way all the way out here to softball to interview John Wismath about his upcoming inductee into the Hall of Fame in Ruby Herrera. That one misses just outside to Payne. And when I got back to the office after walking back out from here up to Canyons Hall, I was drenched from head to toe. It was pretty bad. He said needed a boat and a paddle. Payne shows bunt, drags it back, takes inside, 2-0. Gonzalez, after retiring 10 of the last 11, walks Maldonado after having her 2 strikes, and now is behind 2-0 here, so has lost a little bit of the plot in this inning. Just the second time through the lineup right now for Cypress. Gonzalez's pitch misses away, and she's almost like she's trying to be too fine. Needs to get back to attacking the strike zone, and Leone Lopez is going to go out and chat with her here. Canyons does have Nicole Murrow on the bench, and Gabby Wensley has also shown the ability to pitch. Payne takes a strike. This one hit out into right field, into shallow right. Yahali Gonzalez charging in, makes a slick catch. And that will end the inning. So Akane Gonzalez works around a 2-out walk. No runs, no hits, 1 left on through 4. It's through 3.5, excuse me. It's Canyons leading 1-0. The College of the Canyons Athletic Department is proud to announce the Hall of Fame class for 2025. This year's inductees include legendary women's basketball coach Greg Herron, 2-time softball All-American Ruby Herrera, 2010 state track and field champion Corey Honeycutt, 2-time conference men's basketball player of the year Carlton Spencer, and the 2010 state runner-up men's soccer team. Be there for all the excitement Wednesday, March 19th at 4:30 p.m. at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. For more information, please visit cocathletics.com or call 661-362-3742. Go Cougs! Home half of the fourth. Petretti, Jimenez, and Vierik, scheduled hitters for Canyons. Marie's going to get checked on here. As we can see her where the athletic training cart is, and it looks like it's just a little cut on the shin, maybe something. Had a big smile on her face. So it'll be Petretti, followed by Jimenez and Vierik, working against Haley Tucker, who after giving up the RBI triple to Jimenez, that scored Yahali Gonzalez, who walked to lead off the game for Canyons, has been solid, only one base runner since, and that was Mia Reese reaching on an error. As this one grounded towards third, Galaviz scoops, fires, one away. So Petretti up and right back to the bench. And it'll bring us Jimenez here. Jimenez with another triple added to her list for the season. Give her 3 now. Jimenez is just pummeling the softball. 7 extra base hits now on the season, 3 of them triples, 12 runs batted in, and she's accounted for the only Canyons run so far today with that run batted in that first. And it's been the only run of the ball game through 3 1/3, we'll say. She's way ahead. As Tucker staying very careful with her. That one in for a strike. Jimenez a 7-game hit streak now. 13 for 22 with 4 doubles and 3 triples, 11 runs batted in. The only game she didn't have a hit in was the first game of the season. This one popped up in foul territory. And a nice play made by Winia traveling back. So 2 quick outs here in the inning. And now Krista Vierik will come to the plate. Lefty 0 for 1, struck out looking. One of the 5 strikeouts so far in the ball game for Haley Tucker. Vierik, a late add to the roster this season. We didn't actually see her for media day. Swings and lifts this first pitch foul straight back. Making the play is the catcher Payne. And a quick inning for Haley Tucker. She gets in and gets out. A ground ball on the first pitch of the inning. A pop-up in foul territory to first. A pop-up behind the dish. 1, 2, 3. And outside of the error by Galaviz that let Mia Reese reach base, she's retired 9 of 10 and has faced the minimum since that RBI triple from Jimenez. We go to the 5th inning. Canyons with a 1-0 lead. So it'll be Del Castillo, Lopez, and Kyle, the scheduled hitters for Cypress in the 5th. Del Castillo has pitched this season, but has not hit yet this year. So today her first opportunity at the plate. Connie Gonzalez hit her hip as she tried to deliver. I have not seen that in a long time. Gonzalez with a laugh about it afterwards. So it's a ball, and Del Castillo gets a early 1-0 count on a pitch that didn't even make it to the plate. So Connie Gonzalez will come back to work, and that time right down the heart of the plate for a called strike. Two balls and one strike, the count here to Del Castillo. Hits this one up the middle. Petretti will scoop it at second base. Fires high into the dugout. So Del Castillo will get second base. So it's a two-base error on Petretti here. Tough play ranging to her left. And now they're going to pinch run here for Del Castillo, the DP. They will opt to have Elia Hill come in and pinch run for her. So Del Castillo reaches some speed out on the base path now, as Hill comes in. And Jazzy Lopez, who's 0 for 1, will come to the plate. So 3 chances to cash in the tying run for Cypress here. With the 9-hitter than the top of the order. First pitch to Lopez in for a strike. Lopez shows bunt, bunts it right back up the middle. The only play for Connie Gonzalez is to first base. But 1-3, the recorded out. First out of the inning, a sacrifice bunt for Jazzy Lopez. And now the top of the Cypress order comes to the plate with 1 away and a runner 60 feet away. And Kyle singled and grounded to second. Yanni Lopez will hustle out. The entire Canyons infield will come in to talk to Connie Gonzalez as well, as they'll set up defensively here from what they may want to do if Nenea Kyle opts to bunt. Kyle snapped a 4-game hitting streak against Citrus as she went 0 for 3. Before that, had 4 hits in 4 straight games to start the season, including a 1 for 3 game with a walk, a strikeout, 3 stolen bases, and a couple of runs against COC. We'll see if Cypress opts to squeeze, and they do. We'll widen it out here and give you the entire infield view for this at-bat. As you can see, the infield all in with Nenea Kyle at the plate. This time she decides to keep the bat on her shoulder and takes ball 2. Connie Gonzalez hasn't been clean today, but she's battled through some runners on. Had 2 on in the first, got out of it without anything. Got a runner on with 1 away in the 3rd. Got the 2 and the 3 hitter in Modis and Parmenter. Had a 2-out base runner in the 4th, but gives up the leadoff runner here in the 5th off an errant throw by Brooke Petretti. And now she's behind in the count 3-0 here against Nenea Kyle. Kyle works a walk. So now you put runners on the corners here. Akana Gonzalez going to have to face Kayla Modis. And now that opens up the playbook here for Cypress. So they have opportunities to try and work maybe a double steal. Kyle has plenty of speed. And now you can try and, even if Canyons decides not to bite on a steal play to steal a run, you have 2 runners in scoring position for your 2 and your 3 hitter with 1 away. Kyle takes off. She'll get second base on really defensive indifference. And so now Michaela Modis will come with a strike on her. But 2 runs out there in scoring position. Modis swings. Down the line, foul, and she's behind in the count, 0-2. Modis does have 3 extra base hits on the season out of her 6 hits on the year. She's only driven in 5 runs. She's behind in the count, 0-2. Akana Gonzalez back in the circle on the rubber, delivers. That one inside, called strike 3. That is a huge punch out for Akana Gonzalez to set down Modis looking. Second strikeout of the ball game for Gonzalez. 2 away, and now Parmenter will come to the plate. She's walked and fouled out on the third base side. So the danger doesn't abate quite yet. Runners will get some extra jump on them on a ball put in play. Parmenter this season, 6 for 13 with 5 RBIs. Trying to pick up at least 1 to tie the game. Lines this one foul. So Gonzalez in trouble with 2 on in scoring position. Runners at second and third with a 1 away, but she got a good punch out of Modis. Now trying to finish off Parmenter and get Canyons back into hit in the 5th. Keep in mind that play back in the 3rd inning that ended the 3rd. And the right fielder, Parmenter, threw out Mia Reese. It's a huge play from Carly Parmenter, trying to affect the game here more in this 5th inning. That one in for a strike under the hands, and it's 1-2. Parmenter play that cut down Reese. A good tag from Payne. It's the difference between Canyons having an extra little cushion here. Instead, it's still a 1-0 game. This one lifted in the air, down the line and left. It's going to get out of play. Grace Diaz gave it a look nonetheless. This ball lifted in the air. Shallow left field. Diaz charging in will make the catch. And so Akana Gonzalez again able to duel her way out of trouble. 2 runners on with 1 away in the heart of the order coming up, but she gets through Modis and Parmenter. 4.5 in the books. Canyons with a 1-0 lead. The College of the Canyons Athletic Department is proud to announce the Hall of Fame class for 2025. This year's inductees include legendary women's basketball coach Greg Herron, 2-time softball All-American Ruby Herrera, 2010 state track and field champion Corey Honeycutt, 2-time conference men's basketball player of the year Carlton Spencer, and the 2010 state runner-up men's soccer team. Be there for all the excitement Wednesday, March 19th at 4:30 p.m. at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. For more information, please visit cocathletics.com or call 661-362-3742. Go Cougs!
Hey Nick, how's football going?
He played a good year. His shoulder held in.
Yeah. Okay.
So we go to work here, home half of the 5th inning. Canyons will send Diaz, Gonzalez, and Lopez as the scheduled hitters.
Like 215 or something now. I see something he posts on Instagram or whatever.
Diaz struck out in her first at bat.
He's at 222.
Diaz 1 for 3 against Saddleback in game 1. Had 3 hits and 7 at bats over the weekend series against Saddleback.
All right, guys, take care.
See ya. Bye.
Didn't do much against Santa Barbara, but had 2 hits in the Imperial Valley series as she swings at the first pitch. Lifts it in the air towards straightaway center field. An easy play for Nenea Kyle. One away. So one down, Akana Gonzalez will come up to try and help herself here in the 5th inning. It's been a pitcher's duel here today. Canyons just 1 hit in the ball game. Cypress with 2. But Canyons with the 1 run, and that's all that matters at the moment. One ball, no strikes to count here to Akana Gonzalez, who is dueled with one of the better pitchers in the state so far today in Haley Tucker. And right now is out-dueling her. Talked about Haley Tucker being one of the best pitchers in the state. Her ERA at 1.54 is 18th in California. Her 3 complete games is 21st. Her 16 strikeouts coming in was 41st. As this one lifted in the air. Left center field shallow enough. An easy play for Nenea Kyle, who's made both the outs here in this 5th inning. 2 down. And a pinch hit for Leanne Lopez here, I believe. So pinch hitter for Canyons. And they will opt to tell Annie Lopez to go put the gear on, get ready. Isabel Mena will pinch hit instead. So Mena in the 5th. To pinch hit for Leanne Lopez. Mena 0 for 4 this season. Takes a strike. Does have 3 walks. So we were talking about Tucker. 0.90 whip is 12th in the state. We said all 3 of her games, she's gone the full amount. All 3 of her starts, we should say, she's gone the full amount. She pitched an inning and 2/3 in relief in the lost amount sack. Does have a shutout, which was against LA Mission. Went 4-hit shutout in that game with 8 strikeouts. Mena fouls this one away. Canyons has cleaned that up in terms of the strikeouts. Tucker had 5 Ks through the first 3 innings. For the first 2 innings, I should say. And since has not found a punch-out. Unfortunately for Canyons, they just haven't been able to find a way to put the ball in place successfully other than Mia Reese reaching on an error by Galaviz back in the 3rd. So 2-strike count here on Isabel Mena. Trying to battle Haley Tucker here. Keep an inning going in the 5th with 2 away. Tucker back into her delivery. Mena softly flies it in the air towards second base. An easy play for Maldonado, and that'll end the inning. So Canyons quietly again here in the 5th. Tucker's retired 8 in a row. And 12 of the last 13 have been unable to reach base. We go to the 6th inning, though. Canyons with a 1-0 lead.
Welcome
Welcome to College of the Canyons, where students become the success stories of tomorrow. Whether you're already in the workforce or just getting started, our flexible schedules are a game changer. And students don't just earn degrees, they catapult into desirable careers in top 4-year universities for just $46 per unit. Quality education without crushing debt. Ditch the cookie-cutter mold of college and make college work for you. Register now at canyons.edu/schedule.
So some housekeeping for you. Lanny Lopez re-enters back defensively in her same spot. And it'll be Juanilla Galaviz and Maldonado to face Makani Gonzalez, who has dueled Haley Tucker today. Gonzalez put up no runs on 2 hits so far through 5. Gonzalez with a solid ERA we talked about. Tucker's ERA, Gonzalez has been pretty good as well, all things considered. A 2.33 ERA is 34th in the state. She's got 2 complete games to her record as well, and 21 innings pitched. She's walked just 3 before today, struck out 11. So now through 26 innings pitched, she's walked 5, actually 6, scratch that, as she's got 3 walks today. 12 strikeouts, so almost a 2-to-1 strike, or exactly a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. She got that one in there for a strike to Juanilla. There's 0 for 2 today. This one lifted in the air down the line, and a well out of play foul. That same pitch that we talk about with pitchers here in softball, that little, maybe a little bit of a rise right under the hands to a right-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher, and all the right-handed hitter could do is just sky it out of play over the third base dugout, and that's what Juanilla does that time. So now Connie Gonzalez has herself in a favorable count at 1-2. This one lifted in the air to right field, charging in. Yahali Gonzalez can't make the play. It skips away from her. Throw to second base, gonna be in time. And actually, no, they called obstruction at first base. So the runner is safe at second base. So the obstruction was at first base on Jimenez. It's a single for Juanilla on a blooper. And now the tying run in scoring position with nobody out. Galaviz, who's 0 for 2 on a couple of fly balls today, comes to the plate. So Connie Gonzalez again, this time not helped out by the defense as Yahali Gonzalez couldn't make the play. Thought they had an out at second on a great throw from Vanole, but there was obstruction at first as Jimenez was in the way of the runner in Juanilla, and that's what allowed the throw and the play to be close. So now Gonzalez has to work against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters with the runner in scoring position. This one fouled away. So a 1-ball, 2-strike count here. To Michaela Galaviz. Trying to extend a 3-game hitting streak. This one lifted in the air towards shallow right field. Play made by Vanoli going back. Her and Yahali Gonzalez nearly crashing into one another. But Skylar Vanoli with a nice play for the first out of the inning. That is a tough play for the second baseman. Communication needs to be a little bit better between the right fielder and the second baseman in that instance, but Did not hurt anybody here. And so we'll bring Maldonado back to the plate. Jada Maldonado walked and struck out. So Connie Gonzalez trying to work out of trouble again. Has only had one clean inning today. That was the second. Retired the side in order. Has since faced base runners in every inning, including 2 in the first and a 2-on and 1-out jam in the previous inning. This one lifted in the air. The shortstop Petretti camped under it. And Gonzalez battling through it again. Gets another pop out. 2 down now with a runner in scoring position. And Tina Payne is the scheduled hitter. And they're going to run here for Wainea with Monique Rojas. And Aaliyah Hill is in the on-deck circle, so it looks like she's going to stay in there and get a chance to hit. So Payne, 0 for 2, grounded out and popped out. Gonzalez trying to work away from some trouble once again. That one misses up. Rojas in there to run at second base. 1-1 pitch to Payne, hit on the ground towards third. Mejia scoops, fires, and Connie Gonzalez once again out of trouble. Gives up a leadoff single and an obstruction that moved the runner to second base, but she gets the next 3 batters in order. And we go to the home half of the 6th inning. Canyon still clinging to a 1-0 lead. So some housekeeping for you at home as we come back in. Wainea re-enters at first base. For Canyons, it'll be Mia Reese, Yahali Gonzalez, and Skylar Vanole. This Canyons offense, which right now in the season, 61 runs scored is 16th most in the state, but they've only gotten 1 today. But that is all they've needed, as Akane Gonzalez has, to this point, out-dueled Haley Tucker to the tune of a 1-0 lead. Reese bunts it foul. Tucker's only given up 1 hit and 2 base runners in the ballgame. 3 base runners in the ballgame. She walked Yahali Gonzalez to start the ballgame, gave up a triple to Janice Jimenez. That's the difference right now. Mia Reese reached on an error in the 3rd, but otherwise she's not seen any traffic on. has retired 12 of the last 13. The only one she has not retired was Mia Reese in those last 13. And Reese was eventually cut down at the plate on a great throw from Parmenter to Payne on a shallow fly ball to right field to end the inning. Reese fights this one off to the right, out of play. So 1 ball, 2 strike count to Mia Reese. Interesting note from John Wismath on Mia Reese. We were talking to John about Ruby Gonzalez, 2-time All-American, of course, Ruby Gonzalez. And I guess in one of his meetings with Mia Reese, she looked at the wall and said, "How do I get up there, coach?" And he told her, just got to play hard. And there's a base hit for Mia Reese. So right on cue, Mia Reese with a single. Just the second hit of the ball game for Canyons. More of that, and you'll find yourself on the wall, young lady. She's on, and Canyons in business with the leadoff runner aboard here in the 6th inning. Yahali Gonzalez will come to the plate. Keep an eye on Reese. 9 stolen bases now on the year. Infield playing close here with Gonzalez coming to the plate. She takes the first pitch up and away. Infield is tight right now when you look. The corner's pinching well down. Expecting Yahali Gonzalez to maybe bunt as the extra run may be the difference right now for Canyons. Infield, up the middle and double play depth in case Gonzalez does swing. She lifts this one in the air towards center field. That's a base hit. Yahali Gonzalez with her first hit of the ball game. Back-to-back singles for Canyons. And now you got 2 runners on for Skylar Vanole, who's been quiet today but is one of the dangerous hitters with her, Petretti, and Jimenez all coming up with 2 on and nobody out. Again, the corner's pinching down, expecting Vanoli to maybe bunt. She will bunt, drags it back. Huge lead for Mia Reese, who needs to get back to the bag as the runner, or as the center fielder, excuse me, Nenea Kyle sprinting down. Keep it on the infield view for you here. Vanoli bunts this one foul. It was not quite far enough in front of the plate. Would have done its job as Reese and Gonzalez, who both run very well. Holly Gonzalez 3 for 4 this season in steals. But out in right field does a good job generally tracking down fly balls. Saw one get in on her today, a little shallow one, but normally very slick out there in right field. So now a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Vanoli, who will swing, pops it up, foul territory, playable for the third baseman, Galvez, who makes the catch. So 1 away is Vanoli down on a pop-up foul. And now Brooke Petretti, who's 0 for 2, comes to the plate. Gotta get through the heart of the order here if you're Tucker after giving up singles to the 9 and the 1-hitter. She's done a good job against Vanoli and Petretti, 0 for 5 between the 2 of them. Only Jimenez has hurt her, and that was with the triple back in the 1st inning. Otherwise, ball hasn't really been dangerous out of either side. Petretti not gonna show bunt here. Corners are gonna drag back and try and sit in double play depth. Runners in motion here. Throw to third, not in time. A double steal works perfectly for Canyons. For Mia Reese, she has her 10th stolen base of the season. And now, with 2 strikes, a chance for Petretti. Just a ball lifted to the outfield would score Mia Reese, we would think. Although she has been cut down once today at the plate. Petretti fouls this one away. She fights it off. Now Brad Pickler going to pop his head out of the dugout and call timeout here. Interesting spot with the 2-strike count. Wants to go talk to Haley Tucker. I think just discuss what they want to do. Now that the double play is no longer in order. You do have 2 strikes on Petretti. Long visit here from Pickler. And you got to imagine the home plate umpire going to break things up. Kind of ice Petretti here a little bit. So a 2-strike count here on Brooke Petretti. Runners at second and third after the double steal with Reese and Yahali Gonzalez. Now Petretti trying to cash him in. Lines this one down the line in third, just foul. Maybe 2 inches foul the way everyone reacted. Tough for us to see on the camera. So we apologize. We had a power failure. You didn't miss anything, though. Just a fly ball to right field to end the inning for Jimenez. So Canyons leaves 2 on in their half of the 6th inning. We apologize for that. Had a power failure, and sometimes those things happen. So Canyons leaves 2 on in the 6th. And now you ask Akani Gonzalez to come back in. And try and lock this thing down. As she'll face Laya Hill, Jazzy Lopez, and then the top of the order, Nenea Kyle. First pitch to Hill, in for a strike. Elia Hill this season, 3 for 7. Gonzalez trying to duel so far, and she's done it to this point. Duel Haley Tucker. Trying to cling to the 1-0 lead. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here to Leah Hill. Jazzy Lopez waiting on deck, followed by Kyle. The scheduled hitters here in the 7th. 1-1, bunted foul, and it'll make it 1-2. So we do apologize for the power failure. We're sorry had that happen right at an important time in the ball game, but hopefully those of you that stuck with us are still happy and following along, as we appreciate you watching. One-two misses up. Gonzalez has battled today. How's Akani Gonzalez? You look, only clean inning was in the 2nd. She gave up a single and a walk with a 1 away in the 1st, battled through that. Gave up a 1-out single in the 3rd to Kyle, got through that. Gave up a 2-out walk to Maldonado in the 4th, worked around that. Had a
Del Castillo reached on an error and then walked Kyle and battled through that. Got 2 outs. Gave up a leadoff single to Whitten last inning and got the next 3 batters. Now she's in a 3-2 count here against Elia Hill. This one hit up the middle. Scooped by the second baseman. Throw to first, not going to be in time, as Vanoli was going to be a tough play regardless. And Hill has a leadoff single on an infield hit. Just the 4th hit yielded from Akana Gonzalez today. Now you bring Jazzy Lopez to the plate. Lopez 0 for 1 with a sacrifice to her record. See if they opt to do the same here. Takes a strike. Hill this season 1 for 1 on the bases when running. Lopez bunts it up the first baseline foul, and she's behind on the count, 0-2. Canyons has not turned a double play this year. In the same vein, Cypress has not hit into a double play this year. When you look with the runner at first base. So we continue on a 2-strike count here. Gonzalez to work. This one lifted in the air. Left field playable. Grace Diaz camps, makes the catch. 1 away. So 1 down, and Kyle, the scheduled hitter. I think they're going to call timeout, bring everybody over to chat here. It's Kyle, Modis, and Parmenter, the scheduled hitters. And I think this is much about trying to ice down on Akana Gonzalez a little bit, as it is to discuss what's happening and what they want to do here in these situations. You would imagine there's got to be some sort of aggression from Brad Pickler chasing 1, knowing that that run is at first base right now. Thinking if I can cash that in, we get to the 7th, and I like our chances of getting to extra innings and trying to win a game late here. And for Akana Gonzalez, just keep doing what you have been doing all day long. She faces Kyle, who's 1 for 2, swings and misses. Stolen base, so now the runner in scoring position. Canyon's not even attempting to make a throw that time. So now Hill in scoring position for Kyle, who swung to protect her. Kyle 1 for 2 with a walk and a base hit and a stolen base as well. John Wismath calls timeout. And he wants to walk out and talk to Akana Gonzalez here. Now everybody gonna chat. Late in this ball game, it has been a duel, and a pitcher's duel at best. Akana Gonzalez right now out dueling Haley Tucker. Both have allowed 3 hits in the ball game. Scratch that, Gonzalez has allowed 4 now. Only the 1 run on the board, and that was for Canyons way back in the 1st. It's been empty since. All blanks on the wall. Canyons 1 run on 3 hits in the ball game. Cypress nothing on 4 hits. Each team with an error. pitch from Akane Gonzalez on the outer half. And she's way ahead here against Linnea Kyle. Good pitch, sets her down. Just the third strikeout of the day for Akane Gonzalez, but now 2 away here in the 7th inning. Let's get our bases correct here. Now Michaela Motis, who struck out her last time up, singled back in the first. A single would tie the game more likely than not, with the fleet of foot Aaliyah Hill out at second base. Otis 1 for 3. Gonzalez trying to finish it off. Cypress down to their final out in the ball game. Good fastball in the outer half for a strike, makes it 1-1. An early season signature win for Canyons. That one misses just down and away. Especially for Akane Gonzalez, the young freshman. Out of El Camino Real charter, Woodland Hills native. Trying to finish off a complete game. That one in for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cypress down to their final strike. Gonzalez trying to finish it off. 2-2 delivery. Lifted in the air. That'll get down for a base hit by Mia Reese. It's going to roll all the way out to the wall. The game is tied at 1. Into third is Motis, and we are even in a run apiece in the 7th. Reese lays out for it. Could not come up with it, and then just rolled past her to the wall. It wasn't hit hard, but it was just hard enough for Motis to tie the game. And now Parmenter, who's 0 for 2, can try and cash Motis in and give Cypress their first lead of the ball game. Pitch misses inside. So Motis down to their final strike for Cypress. An RBI triple out to center on a ball that gets by a diving Mia Reese trying to close out the ball game. And maybe some of that, a little bit of the youth from Canyons as well. As Reese, the freshman out of Canyon High School, just trying to do anything she could to make the play. And maybe might have been better served, scooping it and trying to fire to the plate. Good pitch. That one's in there for a strike, 2-1. So now if you're Akane Gonzalez, you're trying to get your team back into hit. Looking to the 7th for Canyons, it's Vierick, Diaz, and Gonzalez. Akane Gonzalez, the scheduled hitters. Good pitch from Akane Gonzalez. So 3-2 count here. Parmenter trying to cash in Motis and give Cypress their first lead. Lifts it in the air. And that will end the inning as Petretti makes the play. And we go to the 7th, the bottom half, in a 1-run ball game as Cypress cashes in a run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left on base. Canyons now with a chance to try and walk it off here in the 7th. As they'll bring Vierick, Diaz, and Akane Gonzalez to work against Tucker. Diaz and Connie Gonzalez to face Tucker here. So we go to the 7th in a 1-run ball game, or 1-1 ball game. Canyons finally got to Tucker a little bit in the 6th with a couple of hits. Couldn't cash in an extra run. Had back-to-back hits from Reese and Gonzalez. But then Vanoli, Petretti, and Jimenez all unable to push a run across. If they get one here, they win the ball game. After they gave up one in the 7th, Connie Gonzalez was a strike away from finishing off a 4-hit shutout. Now needs her offense to pick her up. This one hit softly on the ground towards Maldonado, who fires to first. One down here in the 7th. And now Grace Diaz, who's 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Diaz fouls it away, down to 2 strikes. Nothing in 2. It's been a good game between these two squads, battling here. 4-1 Cypress, 5-2 Canyons. That one chopped right back up the middle. A good play from Haley Tucker. She's able to field her position. 2 down for Connie Gonzalez now. So Gonzalez trying to help herself. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. Haley Tucker 1 pitch away, or 1 out away, we should say, from sending this to extra innings. First pitch to Connie Gonzalez misses down. Gonzalez has had a heck of a game in the circle. Had a 4-hit shutout with 2 away and 2 strikes. Before a bloop triple, we'll say. Scored the run from Modis. She grounds to second. The inning goes quickly. We head to extras. Here from Whitten Field, little bonus softball here on a Tuesday in a 1-1 ball game.
I know you're talking about it. I know you're talking about now.
So one away here in the 7th inning after Whitten popped up foul out of play. And a great play from Grace Diaz down the line. So one down. So Connie Gonzalez still in there working, facing Galaviz, who's 0 for 3. Canyons went quietly in their half of the 7th after Cypress tied it in the bottom half of the 7th, or the top half of the 7th. So this one lifted down the line, foul. Diaz won't be able to get there this time. Galaviz has 2 strikes. Realized our audio in the last half inning wasn't helpful. This one hit down the line again. And once again, Grace Diaz there to make the play. I think both of those down the line in foul territory. So a couple of catches for Grace Diaz. And now Maldonado comes to the plate. 0 for 2. This one chopped towards second. Vanoli makes the play. And so a 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th. And Canyons will get another chance to try and walk things off. As Akana Gonzalez bounces back with just her 2nd clean inning of the ball game. For Canyons, it'll be Lopez, Reese, and Gonzalez, the scheduled hitters. Home half of the 7th. Canyon's going to pinch it here for Lopez. And it'll be Paige Picor getting the opportunity. So good to see Picor get back in there after she kind of got hurt in that doubleheader against Santa Barbara. Did not play against Saddleback. So she goes to work here. Picor 250 on the season, 3 for 12. Couple of stolen bases, couple of RBIs, and Canyons would love nothing more than a base runner here in the 8th inning. Second straight extra innings game we've had here on the Cougar Sports Network. Baseball went to 13 on Saturday. Picor lifts this one in the air. And that'll get down for a base hit out into left center field. So a pinch hit, base hit for Paige Picor. The leadoff runner aboard for Canyons. And now Mia Reese, who's reached twice, singled and reached on an error, has stolen a couple of bases. Remember that play back in the third inning where Parmenter cut her down at the plate. We talked about keep an eye on that one as the game continued on, and that certainly has been the difference to get us to extras here. Just take a look, the infield pinching in with Reese up there. She will bunt. That is nicely done. The only play is first, and it's not in time as Reese in safely with a bunt single. Flashing the speed. And now 2 runners on, nobody away. In the top of the order coming up for Canyons with Yahali Gonzalez coming to the plate. So Reese, her second single of the ball game. This one of the bunt variety. And now the whole playbook is open for John Wismath here. As Paige Picor runs pretty well out there at second base. She's the run that matters. The infield squeezed very far in with Yahali Gonzalez up there, and she takes the first pitch down and away. You can see the corners almost 3/4 of the way down the line, at least halfway, expecting Gonzalez to bunt, trying to get on their bunt defense here, and squeeze Picor at third with the shortstop Modis moving over. It's 2 balls and no strikes the count here to Yahali Gonzalez, though. A base hit would leave John Wismath with a decision to send Paige Picor or not. A fly ball to the outfield, which there it is. That'll get down for a base hit. Picor, though, had to hold up. She's going to get to third safely. Wasn't sure if the ball was going to fall. It does, and now Canyons has the bases loaded with nobody out here in the 8th inning. And the heart of the order in Vanoli, Petretti, and Jimenez, all with a chance to try and finish it off. And so now the infield has to come in. We'll keep it right here. Skylar Vanoli, who's 0 for 3, a chance to try and finish it off. Anything into the outfield would give Canyons a shot to try and finish it. That pitch misses down. You can see the infield all within the baseline. Would call it on the cutout, on the grass if you're at baseball, as they have to get the run at the plate on a ground ball. Vanoli lifts this one in the air to shallow center field. And actually, it's actually not even out to the outfield, it's the shortstop, so it's an infield fly rule. So the batter is out. And now Brooke Petretti comes to the plate, who's 0 for 3. It's a golden opportunity to walk it off here for Canyons. Infield stays in. Petretti first pitch swinging, fouls it away and off the hands. Petretti and Vanoli both hitless today. 3, 4, and 5 have just 1 hit. Or 2, 3, and 4, I should say, have just 1 hit. And that was the Jimenez triple back in the first. Anything deep to the outfield will finish the game for Canyons. Petretti fouls it back to the screen. A productive out wins you the ball game. That one misses down and in. Petretti still riding a 7-game hitting streak, trying to extend it to 8. 8 would win the ball game for Canyons, but a deep fly ball would do the same. She waits on a 1-2. Hits it down the line, foul, and will come back and do it again. Can't ask for a better spot here if you're Canyons. The harder your order at the plate, with nobody out and the bases loaded. This ball lifted in the air. It's not going to get off the infield. And now you leave it to Janice Jimenez, who tripled home the run back in the first. But you need a base hit. Tucker trying to work out of trouble here. Got herself into trouble after 3 straight singles. One from Picor, one from Reese, one from Gonzalez. Jimenez takes a called strike right down the heart of the plate. Wasn't the pitch she was looking for. Trying to walk it off here in the 8th. Canyons had the bases loaded. Nobody out. Good pitch from Tucker. And now Jimenez down to her final strike of the at-bat.
Hey, they're pitching you away. Step into it. Everything's away. Hey, you're going to live out there. You know what you got to do.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Base hit will win it. Runners in motion on contact here. This one lifted in the air towards right field and playable. And we will go to the 9th inning in a game still tied as Jimenez flies out to right with the go-ahead run aboard. We will go to the 9th. 1-1 ball game. College of the Canyons Athletic Department is proud to announce the Hall of Fame class for 2025. This year's inductees include legendary women's basketball coach Greg Herron, 2-time softball All-American Ruby Herrera, 2010 state track and field champion Corey Honeycutt, 2-time conference men's basketball player of the year Carlton Spencer, and the 2010 state runner-up men's soccer team. Be there for all the excitement Wednesday, March 19th at 4:30 p.m. at the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. For more information, please visit cocathletics.com or call 661-362-3742. Go Cougs! So we're into the 9th here at Whitten Field. Canyons leaves the bases loaded in the 8th. Cypress will send Payne, Hill, and Lopez to the plate here in the 9th to face Yahali Gonzalez. Set down the side in order in the 8th. Offense couldn't finish it off for her in the 8th with the bases loaded and nobody out, so she'll have to try and get Canyons back in a 1-1 ball game. Picor in there catching if you're working at home. And she came in to hit for Leani Lopez. And Lopez has already re-entered once, so it's her day. 2 strikes here on Payne. Ball hit on the ground towards short. Petretti, that time cleanly scoops and fires. 1 down. One away for Leah Hill. Pinch ran in the 4th. Stayed in there and hit in the 7th. Had a single and the tying run. after a triple from Modis with 2 away. And now hits here in the 9th for the 2nd time. I went in for a strike. Two balls and 1 strike to count here to Hill. She'll bunt up the first base line. It's a fair ball, and it's a base hit for Hill. So it's an illegally batted ball, so Hill will have to come back to the plate. And it'll be a 2 ball and 2 strike count here. It used to be that a legally batted ball was an automatic out, but they have since, I believe, changed that rule a handful of years ago maybe to take the penalty away from the batter. As with trying to slap and bunt and run in softball, it's such a prevalent part of the game. So this one fouled out of play by Hill. It happens so often. It's tough because there are a lot of pitchers that are illegal as well when they pitch and get away with it. So it's just a matter of which umpire's behind the plate and what they decide they want to do. 2-2 count here to Hill. Fouled that one into the screen. We'll stay at 2-2. Hill chops this one towards second. Vanoli scoops, flips, 2 away. That's a good play from Vanoli. It's tough as Hill runs well. Vanoli having to cut across to her left, had to scoop it and just flip it to Jimenez. So 2 down, and Jazzy Lopez will come to the plate. Lopez 0 for 2 and had a sacrifice bunt in the 5th. Gonzalez has retired 6 in a row. 7 we get Canyons back into hit. Good pitch under the hands for a called strike. Sudden starting to set down here. Get behind the hill in about another 20 minutes. Daylight to about 5:30, so still plenty of time in terms of trying to finish this one out. It's just a matter of if anybody can. This one down the line, foul. 2 strike count here against Lopez. Canyons had a golden opportunity in the 8th. Bases loaded, nobody out. Couldn't cash it in. They had a similar opportunity in the 7th with 2 on and nobody out. Both times the heart of the, or the 6th, I should say, both times the heart of the order were 5 and 6, or 2, 3, and I should say 2, 3, and 4 coming to the plate and couldn't get it done. Look to the bottom half of the 9th inning. It'll be Villarek, Diaz, and Gonzalez. It's Akane Gonzalez, the scheduled hitters. This ball lifted in the air in foul territory. Jimenez gets there just before it gets into the fence and makes the play. So a clean inning, 7 in a row retired for Akane Gonzalez. Home half of the 9th upcoming. Canyons with another chance to try and walk it off. Vieira, Grace Diaz, Akana Gonzalez due up here for Canyons. This half of the 9th inning. Back and forward pitchers duel. Runs at an absolute premium in this one. Canyons with their lone run in the 1st. Cypress with their lone run to tie the game in the 7th. Vieira, first pitch swinging, fouls it up the left field line, out of play. Vieira 0 for 3 today. Struck out, popped foul to the catcher, and grounded to second. Good take from Vieira. Canyons again. Nobody, or 2 on and nobody out in the 6th. Couldn't cash in. Then went quietly in the 7th. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th. And couldn't finish it off. They've had traffic from the 6th on. This one lined right at the shortstop in Modis, who makes the play. 1 down for Grace Diaz. Sun has officially gone down behind the hill for us as this one lifted in the air towards center field. An easy play for Nenea Kyle. As she just backs up a few strides, makes the catch, 2 down. So 2 quick outs. Akana Gonzalez coming to the plate. If there was ever a time for the young lady to help herself, now would be it. With 2 away in the 9th. She has pitched masterfully today. Credit her with a solid outing for the freshman. Can't ask for anything more out of your starter than what Akana Gonzalez did today. 6 shutout innings. It's this one on the ground towards 3rd. Easy scoop. Galaviz fires. We go to the 10th inning now. Still 1-1. Top of the order here, Kyle Modis and Parmenter in the 10th against Akana Gonzalez, who has Pitched masterfully. This one bunted on the infield. Mejia scoops, not going to be in time. And then Kyle has another infield bunt single. And so they go ahead and run aboard at first base. Modis, Parmenter, and Wainia due up here. Cypress trying to do what Canyons could not and cash in an early base runner in an inning. Runner down to second base. Not going to be in time. Another stolen base for Kyle. And now she's in scoring position here in the 10th inning. This one chopped foul. So Brad Pickler hoping that his big guns in the 2, 3, and 4 hitters can do what Canyon's 2, 3, and 4 hitters could not do in the 6th and the 8th. Cash in a runner in scoring position. This ball lifted down the line. Out of play, foul. Is Diaz giving chase. Grace Diaz has made a couple of nice plays down the line today. And not giving up on that one, chasing it down, just couldn't get there. As it went well out of play. That one misses. Can't take anything away from Akana Gonzalez today. She has been great. Absolutely masterful performance from her. 6 hits in the ballgame, just 1 run. Hasn't struck anybody out, but she has just battled her way through every little bit of adversity she's faced today. You look 2 on, 1 out in the first, got out of it. Runner on with 1 away in the 3rd, nothing. Same in the 4th with 2 away, nothing. 2 on and 1 away in the 5th, didn't give up anything. It wasn't until she had the leadoff runner aboard in the 6th, got out of trouble. It wasn't until that 7th inning that she got nabbed. And it was not even a hard hit ball, it was just a ball that got down. Here's Mia Reese gonna make a play, ranging to her right to make the catch. But it's a productive out for Modis, who flies out to center field. 1 away. And now Carly Parmenter, who walked, popped out, flew out, and popped out to short. A fly ball would score a run here and give Cypress their first lead of the game. They've trailed the entire way to the 6th before popping their run home to tie the game. One ball, 1 strike count here to Parmenter. This one bunted in front of the rubber, and that'll be a squeeze play for a run. Parmenter able to bring home Kyle, and Cypress has their first lead of the ball game. A beautifully executed squeeze bunt. Parmenter would have reached in a single anyway. Akana Gonzalez did everything she could to try and make the play at the plate. Flipped it with the glove. It was just a split second behind. Well executed by Cypress. And the Chargers have their first lead of the ball game with 1 away here in the 10th. This one fouled up the third base line. Ball lifted in the air. Second baseman Vanoli will make the play. Pretty easy catch for Skylar Vanoli. Two down here in the 10th now. Runner in motion, throw down to second base, not going to be in time. And so Parmenter with a stolen base. Galaviz at the plate. One ball, one strike to count here to Galaviz. This one chopped to third, scooped by Mejia, fires to first, but it was a foul ball. This one hit sharply at the shortstop. Petretti makes the play. But Cypress gets the one they need. Squeeze play bunt after Kyle reached on a leadoff single. Nothing out of the infield, but a run scores. We go to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Canyons needs at least one to stretch the game. They'll send Pecor, Reese, and Gonzalez to the plate. So Pecor, Reese, Gonzalez. Pecor singled in the 8th. Part of those 3 straight singles that got Canyons a chance with the bases loaded in the 8th to walk the game off, and they could not. They need 2 now to do that. Just 1 to extend it as Pecor takes a called strike. This ball lifted in the air. Shallow right center field. Center fielder Nenea Kyle camping and makes the play. One away. So 1 down for Mia Reese. Couple of singles, reached on an error. She's been on 3 times today. And again, you don't want to go back to it as many when we have to at this point, though. Parmenter's play to cut her down at the plate on what may or may not have been a block by Payne, an illegal block of the plate by Payne, as it was bang, bang, right when the ball came. And it kept Mia Reese from getting into the plate. That run was the difference. This one popped up on the infield. Reese out on a lazy fly ball in the infield to Maldonado. And Canyon's down to their final out here. And now Yahali Gonzalez trying to extend the game. First pitch takes a called strike. One ball, one strike to count here to Yahali Gonzalez. Couple of singles in the 6th and the 8th. Walked and scored the only Canyons run in the 1st. Sun has gone down behind the mountains behind us. So getting dark in a hurry here. This one fouled back and Canyons down to their final strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here to Yahali Gonzalez. It's been a fun one, a pitcher's duel. Take nothing away from Akane Gonzalez, who was excellent today in her performance. Pitched very well, just could not get the offensive help maybe she needed. And you can say the same for Haley Tucker, whose only run allowed was in the 1st. She's worked out of 2 on and nobody out jam, a bases loaded, nobody out jam, both times rising to cut down the top of the Canyons order. Now has Canyons down to their final strike. Yahali Gonzalez waits. Tucker into her delivery. Foul back to the screen. We'll do it again. So we go again here on 2-2. This one lifted in the air out into left field and making a great play, ranging to her right was Nainea Kyle, shaded that way. And that is the ball game. Cypress gets a great defensive play on a well-struck ball from Yahali Gonzalez, but Nainea Kyle finishes it off. Cypress comes from behind to win it 2-1 over Canyons in 10 innings in a great ball game between these two teams. A pitcher's duel is won by Haley Tucker. Yahali Gonzalez will unfortunately pick up the loss despite a great performance, or excuse me, Akane Gonzalez will unfortunately pick up the loss despite a great performance in what was a good ball game between these two teams. We thank you for joining us. We hope we see you tomorrow night for basketball here on the Cougars Sports Network. Men's and women's doubleheader, final basketball games of the season. Have a good one, everybody.
Nice to see you. Good to see these girls grow and develop into great softball players. And you are absolutely welcome. I'll be back, hopefully, if it doesn't rain, March 6th.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be
Sounds good. If it doesn't rain now.
Yeah, we'll see, huh?
Yeah, I can't promise.
Yeah.
I can't.